Hi, welcome to the second Crafts and Crimes. Today I'm going to do a whole bunch of mixed media bullshit while I chat about Charles Manson. Charles Manson, who is not even in my top 10 for famous criminals, but he's a biggie. He should be done. We should chat about him. Now, Charles Manson, who. Oh, I don't know enough about it to teach or talk about it. So what I've done is combine my two favorite things, art, true crime, and that's what I'm going to, make this channel into. If you've clicked on this video, you obviously already know that. I'm not great at either of them, but I'm going to combine them and see what happens. Also, I filmed this whole video in the wrong orientation, so there's giant black bars on either side. Yeah, well, I don't know how to fix that, and I don't think I'm going to try. So let's just move on and talk about Charles Manson while you watch me watercolor my bullet journal. Charles Manson was born in Cincinnati, Ohio on November 12, 1934. His mother was just 16 years old, and his father was not around, but soon he did have a stepdad, and that's where he got the name Manson. So when he was 4, his mother committed an armed robbery. So, that's, I guess, where he got some of his badassness. She spent several years in prison, and they were reunited, but essentially, he didn't have his mother for some pretty crucial years, and so he started getting into petty crime really early, by 9 years old, and spent some time in the facilities for delinquent boys. So I'm sure there he learned about other petty crimes that he could commit, and escalated to bigger crimes, federal crimes, I guess, like stolen cars and shit like that. So in 1956, he was giving his first proper adult prison sentence, and he spent 11 years in jail. And this is key because when he comes out of that jail stint, or whatever you call time in jail, he's 32 years old, and this is when he makes his way to San Francisco. And this is where he decides he's going to be a famous musician, and obviously he's famous for other reasons. So just pause on Charles. I love this magazine that you're looking at right now. I spent so much money on it at Michael's. I can't believe they could charge that for a magazine. And I'll know if my husband is watching this channel if he comments on it, and I hope he's not. But what I'm going to do to this magazine is totally destroy it, and just rip it up because the pictures are so beautiful for collage. Oh, I love that one. Totally going to rip that up. And that one. Oh, they're so pretty. And I mean, it's just magazine pages, and I just want to cut them and paste them and put them together some other way. Oh, that one's pretty too, and that one. So anyway, I love this magazine. It was well worth it. It's going to give me so many hours of collage fun. I love collaging. And, oh, I love that. I'm not going to rip that up. I'm definitely going to frame that. And yeah, I'll rip that one up. But I might frame this one too because I love her. I love how she's like, what is that called? Mid-century modern. I love that style. Anyway, okay, moving back to Charlie. So he has moved on to San Francisco. He was obsessed with being the center of attention. He wanted to be a real musician. He wanted to make his fame and make his way in the music world. But he really, instead, he started up sort of a cult or a religion or whatever. I don't want to alienate anyone, but they're pretty similar. And he was a spiritual guru, so to speak, for a bunch of hippies. So they weren't really hard to recruit because it was a bunch of young girls mainly who were looking for answers. And so what a sociopath does is becomes whatever they're looking for. If they're looking for a guru, he's a guru. If they're looking for, a Christian Messiah, he becomes a Christian Messiah. So Charles Manson was really good at that, and he was a cult leader, and so many people adored him and felt the charm and his intelligence, and that's, I suppose, how he did it. And look how disgusting that watercolor palette is. Oh my God, if you're a real artist, you're probably shitting right now that I would treat my watercolors that way, but that's just how I do. That's just how I do. Anyway, so I'm getting a lot of this information about Charles Manson from this Good Housekeeping article, which I think is super funny, and also Murderpedia, which is Wikipedia but for murders, and that's a great, actually, website if you want to donate to them. They have a donate button if you're interested in murder at all. You can find out everything you need to know there. And like I said in my first video, the reason we're talking about murder and obsessing about murder is because pretty sure women in general need to find out all the ways in which they could be murdered and avoid those. Sad but true. So back to this Christian Messiah hippie guru who had a bunch of young women obsessed with him. So what he was doing, he was going around California recruiting these girls, and wasn't necessarily hard. And they eventually, had the name the Manson family. So they called themselves this, and they traveled up and down all through LA, and they settled on a ranch, and they took a lot of drugs, and they listened to these bullshit spiritual teachings of Charlie Manson. I think there was even a show on with David Duchovny about this. I didn't watch it. I don't know. I love him. I love that Californication show. Have you ever seen that? You need to go back and watch every season of that. That is a great fucking show. Anyway, he also has a Charles Manson show, I think. Haven't watched it. Not interested. Like I say, Charles Manson doesn't do it for me. So they settled down in this ranch, and let's talk about the first victim of Charles Manson. His name was Gary Hinman, and apparently he owed money to the Manson family. So several of its members, not Charles, because he did not participate in any of these murders, went to collect the money, and then when they had no luck, they killed him. So that was not the first or last bit of violence. 4 of Manson members decided to head over to the home of Roman Polanski, the well-known director. And they say it was Charles' orders who instructed them, and they say he said to kill everyone they found there. So he wasn't home. He was away filming, but his 8-month pregnant girlfriend, Sharon Tate, was there with her friend Jay Sebring. Abigail Folger was there from Folger's Coffee fame, and her boyfriend, Wojtek Frykowski, was there. So Susan Tex and Patricia snuck into the mansion and brutally murdered all 4 of those people, plus Stephen Parent, who was a friend and the home's caretaker. Linda stood outside to keep guard, and remember that because that'll pop up again. So the very next night, they wanted to kill again, so they brought along another of the Manson family members, Leslie Van Houten, and Charlie went, but Susan, Tex, Patricia, and Leslie snuck into the home of a grocery store executive named Lino LaBianca and his wife Rosemary and murdered them. Now, again, Linda and Charles waited outside. I can't stand him. I just can't stand him. Toward the end of August, his followers murdered another man, Donald Shorty Shea. He was a ranch hand, but ultimately they had evaded authorities for the entire summer and were not arrested until October 1969, and it was because of a car theft, and then of course someone started talking. And you know who started talking? I think it was that Linda bitch who kept waiting outside. I don't know. Don't like her. Anyway, so you can see I've moved away from my bullet journal here. So we're pausing from the Manson story, and I'm watercoloring, I don't know, what is this? Mountains. And okay, I'll be down in a minute. And I don't know if that's going to be space. I can't remember what I did. I was all over the place. I know I ended up hating it in the end because oftentimes when I do art, I will crumple it up and throw it out. And I think the process is probably more important than the product, as I always tell my students. I know, I'm a teacher. I know this is probably all pretty unnerving, but don't worry, I'm super teacher mode when I'm at school. Anyway, I enjoy the process of this art, and if I don't love it and I don't want to look at it again, then I just turf it. Or I rip it up and I collage it. And that's what I do. And I put a candle there so it looks fancy. So that when I make the video, it looks kind of, I don't know, aesthetic. That's what the kids say. It's aesthetic. It's an aesthetic. Miss Moore, it's an aesthetic. That's what they say. So this is an aesthetic. Anyway, next, trial. Susan Atkins, who was charged with the murder of Gary Hinman, remember, he was the one that owed money to the Manson family and was murdered for not paying up. She started talking. Oh, I thought it might have been Linda. No, I guess it was her. Anyway, so they went to trial, and so it comes out that Charles had been preaching to his followers that there was a race war coming and that black people were going to attack and kill white people. Like, what a psychopath. I can't even stand this. I mean, you're not going to love any murderer, but this guy is such a loser. Anyway, so what they were going to do is they were going to hide in caves when this big race war started, and then they were going to emerge and rule all who were left from all the killing of each other that was supposedly going to happen. And apparently he believed that there was a Beatles song on the White Album called Helter Skelter, and it prophesies this, I think. I could be mixing that up. I don't know. Put in the comments if I am. So he obviously was on a lot of drugs, and he was getting real fucked up in the end. So the jury actually, after 10 days of deliberation, they found him, Charles, Tex, Susan, Patricia, and Leslie guilty in all charges for all those murders. So Charles was guilty as anyone that committed the murders because he apparently directed his followers to do it, but didn't actually participate in them. And yes, that's what it was. Linda, that fucking Linda. She was the prosecutor's main witness, and she walked away without serving any time. And I can't even fucking look up to see if she is still alive now, because if she is, I'll fucking write her a letter or something. Obviously, I would do nothing, but what a bitch. So, they were initially sentenced to death for their crimes, but then California made the death penalty illegal in 1972, and their sentences were commuted to life in prison. So this really sucks too, the ending of this. She died of natural causes at age 83, and I think that's bullshit. Like, that's not what you want to hear. You want to hear he suffered. But anyway, that's the end of the Charles Manson story. I can't really get into it. So I'm going to continue the voiceover, but I'm going to discuss the art. Oh, look, I'm back into my bullet journal. What am I doing there? Well, it looks like I'm using my fancy black pen that's not water soluble and making some beautiful dates. Will I write in that bullet journal in January? I hope so. I hope it keeps me organized. I did film another video today, and I'm going to be discussing in the next video Jeffrey Dahmer. So I filmed myself working on a watercolor, kind of a bizarre looking Modigliani sad girl, but I spent, about 50 minutes on it, and I kind of liked her in the end, so I filmed it, I sped up the video, and I'm getting ready to do a voiceover about Jeffrey Dahmer. So if you're interested at all, that video will come out in the next few days or so. If you're not, I completely understand. Why the fuck would you want to, watch substandard art and listen to me talk about murder? But it's a niche, and there are people like me out there that like it. So here we are. So that's the first. Wait, no, I'm on like January. That's the end of December and the first week of January. That makes me sick to think about, but here we are with that, and I'm putting pretty washi tape at the bottom. I'm doing everything all the fancy artists on YouTube do, and it never quite looks the same. That washi tape says, I don't know, some inspirational quote like sink or swim, or I can't remember what it says, but it's not me at all, but I thought it was pretty washi tape. Oh, look, I'm going to flip through and show you all. Well, none of that's mine. That's with the journal. There's my January page. You may have seen that. My month at a glance, which I will fill in all the important dates. There's my week at a glance, and there's the next week that I'm going to do next time. What am I going to pull out now? I know I did something else. Oh, Jesus, this painting. What the hell am I doing with this thing? I should have just given up right then. Looks like I'm going to keep going. Oh, look, I can't even decide myself. Should I give up? Should I get a black marker? Yeah, I bet you I get a black. No, I said fuck it. Ooh, yes. Then, Christmas ornaments. I spent $11 on 3 fucking plastic ornaments, and I don't even know what I did to them. I think I painted them pastel colors, and they're still sitting there drying. Let's find out. I couldn't open this thing. Got frustrated. This is double time, I think, this video, so I really did spend a lot of time on these stupid ornaments. So I hope to resurrect whatever I did and make them into something pretty because um, it was a lot of time and effort and they were kind of expensive. Oh, I think you're going to see, that's fake pretty, fake pretty. That's a dirty old tablecloth. Let's see what my table really looks like. This is what my art table looks like when I'm not trying to hide it from you guys. Oh, look at that. Yeah, and that's the good side. You should see the other side of it. Okay, so I guess I'm going to paint these ornaments. Gonna fix my camera first because it's on this thing like an arm and it doesn't tighten, so it slowly, very slowly, kind of falls down, and I don't realize when I'm filming until quite later in the process, and then I have to fix it. So I'm using Jane Davenport's acrylic paints. These are really pretty acrylic paints, and I'm all about the pastels this summer. Does it feel weird to be talking about pretty pastel paint after we just chatted about Charlie Manson and the murders his followers committed? That's all right. Oh, he's not even on camera. I'll get better at this. I will get better at this. I got to keep trying. Even if I suck at something, I'm probably still going to put it out there, and I know that probably bothers um, my family members because I do share. I overshare. I've always overshared. I overshare on my blog and my life. If you're sitting on my couch, I overshare. And then I make these videos and overshare. But some people are into it, so I'm still going to do it. I find it cathartic. It's a process. I like it. It makes me feel good. I like getting shit out of my head. If I can't write it, because I like to write, then I like to paint and draw and do all that. And I also like to just say it, just to get it out of my head if it's bothering me. And nothing's really bothering me, I guess, right now, but it does kind of bother me that I put all that effort into these, I don't know, pastel ornaments, and I don't know what to do with them, and they're just sitting there. Hmm. Maybe you can give me an idea. If you have an idea what I can do with those pretty pastel ornaments, let me know. Maybe I will dip them in glitter and call it a day. And now what am I going to do? Oh my god, this fucking thing. I mean, right beside me in the garbage can, it is crumpled up. And it makes me sad to see how much effort I'm putting into it right now in this video. And I didn't know at this time that I was going to turf it, but I'm using all those really nice paint over pens. All that beautiful ink is sinking into that watercolor paper. What a fucking waste. And I know I have a potty mouth, by the way, and that's why I put not safe for work, among other reasons. I'm just talking to you as if you're on the couch with me, and maybe you will be someday. I was thinking one of the next times I do one of these, I'd like to have somebody sit with me while I discuss one of these murders, just to have someone to chat with and see what they think. Obviously, they'd have to have an interest. They don't want to scare people away. Oh, look at all that. I hate that yellow Posca marker. I hate that color. I need a proper yellow, pale pastel yellow. Wasted all that ink. There's like 4 minutes left in this video, and I am over it. So if you want to press stop right now, go ahead. Get out while you still can. I'm here till the end, but you go. You go find something better. I bet the black marker's coming out. If I know me, I always think a black outline's going to fix everything. Ooh, white marker. Oh, I'm going to put snow on top of these fucking space mountains. Like, there would be snow. No, that doesn't make any sense. That looks stupid. Look at all that nice white paint marker. Again, that's probably Jane Davenport. That probably cost me a fucking fortune because I can't afford her shit. Oh well, I'm trying something here. I don't know what I'm trying. There's no color story. It's random. What am I doing? Okay, the black marker's good. Yeah, there it is. I knew it. That's how, if you ever see me pull that out, it's because I fucking hate what I did and I'm trying to fix it. with a thick black outline to make it look like, I don't know, illustrated or something, and it doesn't work. I do it to almost everything. I pull out a black marker to outline it, and then I pull out a white marker to highlight it. And once in a while I can save something, but for the most part, I can't because I don't know what I'm doing. I see a video on YouTube because I watch it almost as obsessively like my kids, and don't worry, I limit their screen time. Uh, and I try to recreate it in like a way that I can or I know how, and it's never going to be good as the artist I'm watching on YouTube, right? So then I just get angry and then I hate it. So I already hate it at this point. So yeah, there's the white marker coming out. Oh my god, I'm so predictable. What am I doing now? Stars? I'm putting stars. I don't know if it's daytime or nighttime, if it's winter, summer, is that space? Why are there so many planets? Is that the sun? Is that the moon? What are those other things? Are they little planets? What what am I doing? Oh, now I'm going to make rings around it with a green paint marker. Like that's going to save it. Oh, white marker again. Oh my god, put me out of my misery, like this video has to end. Oh my god, I'm putting a big ring around the big moon sun thing. Pink rings. Oh, a double ring on that one. I'm getting brave. Oh, I hope this wasn't as painful for you as it is for me. Oh, some yellow Posca stars. All right. Let's call it. Let's call it. Come on. Blow the candle out. I blow the candle out. Now I'm doubling up on everything. Blow the candle out when I'm done. I blow the candle out. So come on, let's do it. Let's get this done. Anyway, so please tune in next time. And I'm going to talk about Jeffrey Dahmer. And like I told you, look at Jesus Christ, I'm going back to these ornaments again. Like, what am I doing? This was a crazy, mixed media day. It'll be way calmer next time. I'm going to work on one project from the start to the finish. It's watercolor with a little bit of Posca pen. And it turns out pretty cute. I kind of like it, as sad as she is. And I think you'll enjoy watching it. And I think if you're like me, you'll enjoy listening to the story of Jeffrey Lionel Dahmer. And we can discuss. If you have anything you want to comment, please leave it in the bottom of this video, and I'll answer. I promise. I check all the comments and subscribe. That would be helpful. I'm not expecting to make money off YouTube. Trust me. That's not where I'm going with this. I just want to meet like-minded people, and I like sharing what I know and what I can do. Maybe if you have a channel, link it down below so that I can check it out, because I would love to, especially if it's art-based, if it's murder-based, whatever, I don't care. I'm interested in lots of stuff. So let me know, and thank you so much for, oh yes, I'm blowing the candle out, it's over. I found that rather painful. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.